Hello, welcome to Aslan Speaks, episode 16, Intuition. Hello, my friends. How you guys doing today? So today I want to discuss one of my favorite topics of all time. And I already hinted because I already spoke about it when I did their introduction. And that is, I'm going to talk about intuition today. If you're seeking an awakening or enlightenment, then one must learn to harness or develop their intuition. Yes, intuition, guys. So, what is intuition? Intuition is the ability to acquire knowledge or insight without recourse to conscious reasoning. So, what does that mean? It means that intuition is that feeling you get in your gut, or when you instinctively know that something you're doing is wrong or right. Yes. Let me repeat that. Basically, I'm not going to repeat it, but intuition is instinctively knowing. Every human has this ability. Yes, you have this ability. But over the years, in our modern society, through pre-programming or belief structures or how we were raised by our parents, we humans have not developed our intuition. We basically put a blocker on it, and we blocked it out over these years. And sometimes the intuition in ourselves surfaces, but sometimes it doesn't. So most people in their lives have had a gut feeling or that instinctive knowing, but sometimes we decide to listen to it, and sometimes we don't. Well, I'm here to share with you that a person on a path of awakening should try their best. Yes, try their best to trust and listen to their intuition, to listen to that instinctive knowing within yourselves, guys. It's very important. We are amazing beings. And one of our greatest gifts that God has given us is our intuition, or that overwhelming gut knowing. So intuition is like a muscle. Yeah, you go to the gym and you have to work out, and that's how you get strong and fit. And our intuition is the same thing, but over the years, that muscle, or the intuitive muscle, has grown stagnant or shrank. And to develop our intuition, we have to learn to work that muscle out. Think of intuition as a magical superpower that every human has. We have all experienced in our lives where we're in a situation. Yes, we all have been in certain situations in our life where we get that gut overwhelming, unshakable feeling in our stomach that's telling us, hey, something's not right here, something's wrong. But often we choose to ignore that, or we talk ourselves out of it. And guess what happens? When we choose to ignore it, something bad happens or something goes wrong. Has that ever happened to you in your life where you chose to ignore your intuition, and then later down the road you're like, man, I should have just trusted my gut feeling on that one, and that situation in life would have turned out way better. So also, when we get that overwhelming gut feeling and then you choose to ignore it, sometimes I call that like a red flag. We've all experienced what are called red flags in our lives. Usually a person gets a red flag from another person. A red flag is the universe. Yes, the red flag is the universe or God trying to tell you something's not right, or something's out of alignment with you, that something's not fitting with you. When a person picks up on a red flag, it is your intuition speaking, or better yet, it is shouting at you, hey, pay attention here. It's saying, hey, I'm trying to get your attention. Here's a red flag, pay attention. Something's not quite right. Often when we see these red flags, it's in a romantic relationship or a romantic partner. Sometimes when we see these red flags, it's with someone we're dating. This person you're dating does or says something that sends up a red flag. Sometimes someone you're dating shows many red flags. Yeah, we get this often I've had it multiple times in my life where I'm trying to court somebody or date somebody, and then something is just not quite right. A red flag appears. And it's my intuition saying, hey, pay attention here. Something's out of alignment. Something's wrong. But when a person, so one of the keys is when a person's in their true power or in tune with themselves or in tune with their intuition, they choose to not ignore these red flags. But when you're out of tune, you choose to ignore them. Like, so when we get a red flag, sometimes when people choose to ignore them, they let their mind or their ego self talk themselves out of noticing these red flags. Like, or they choose to make up excuses, and basically talk themselves out of it and choose to ignore it. But when a person is not in their power or not listening to themselves, something ends up going wrong. My friends, yes, my friends, when you see a red flag, or when someone does or says something and a red flag appears, that is your soul or higher self, aka your intuition, trying to get your attention. Pay attention in that moment. When you get a red flag and your intuition speaks to you, stop what you're doing and just analyze that thought or feeling and see, like, hey, what is the universe or my higher self trying to say to me? Don't brush it off. A red flag moment or sign is the universe warning you of something, trying to get your attention, guys. Let me repeat that. A red flag moment is when the universe or your higher self is warning you, hey, pay attention. Over the years, before I started developing my intuition, often I would get red flags with a person I was dating. But because I wasn't in tune with myself, I chose to ignore those red flags. Can you guess what happened? Often the person I was dating turned out to be a very toxic person in my life. Very draining, very negative, caused depression and anxiety in me. Wasn't healthy for me. But because I wasn't in tune with myself, I chose to ignore those red flags that I would see with the person I was dating. And often it turned out very bad. The person ended up cheating on me or did really shady things. Usually when you see multiple red flags, sometimes people have seen multiple red flags in their partner. So often when you see those red flags when you're with the person you're dating, this is your intuition saying, hey, this person is not right for you. When you're in a romantic relationship with a person that you're meant to be with, so when you find the right person, you don't see red flags. When you find the right person that you're meant to be with, you're not depressed. You don't feel anxiety. You feel whole, complete, and perfect. And your intuition, and you'll know the person you're meant to be with because your intuition is happy and joyful. It's positive. But when you're out of alignment or you're not trusting your intuition, then usually when you go against your intuition or when you choose to ignore those red flags, then you're in a toxic relationship. So pay attention. Pay attention. Do you see red flags with the person you're dating? Let me repeat that. Do you see red flags often with the person you're dating? If so, maybe it's time to reevaluate your relationship. So if you're seeking self-mastery or enlightenment, yes, are you seeking self-mastery? Are you seeking enlightenment? Then one of your abilities you must awaken inside yourself is your intuition. I like to say your intuition is God or your higher self speaking to you. That's right. Your intuition is God or your higher self speaking to you. It's your connection. Your intuition is like your connection to the universe or to source energy. So do you listen to your intuition or do you choose to ignore it? If you want to change your life, if you want to fulfill your dreams and goals, if you want to find that perfect partner in your life, then I suggest start listening to your intuition. Your intuition or your higher self or I like to call it, like for me, I call it the Holy Spirit because I'm very Christian based. Like my programming growing up was Christian. So I call it the Holy Spirit or my speaking. So so basically your higher self or the Holy Spirit within you or your intuition is trying to guide you. If you choose to ignore it, then a person will tend to wander on the wrong path of life. Meaning that the path you're on is not in the highest alignment, sorry guys for the stumbling, with your truest or highest self. But if you choose to listen and trust your intuition, then you'll be guided on the right path to take in your life. That's why so many people feel lost in life. Where they don't know what to do next, what's their next move in life. They're just lost. And often when they feel lost, they feel depressed or anxiety because they don't know what's next, and the key is if you want to get out of that feeling of being depressed or anxiety and feeling lost in life, start trusting your intuition because your intuition will guide you to the right path. The reason most people are not successful in life, or the reason most people don't feel fulfilled or that they don't fulfill their goals and dreams is because they chose to ignore to that gut feeling within them. They chose the wrong path, so to speak. But if you want to change your life, yes, if you want to change your life overnight, one thing you have to do is choose to change your thinking, learn to change your behavior, and learn to follow and trust your intuition. It's very important. Follow and trust your intuition. My intuition or higher self is what is speaking to you right now. Yes, it sounds strange, but I'm speaking from a place of alignment and empowerment, and I'm letting my gut feeling or intuition speak these words to you through this video. That is what inspired me to even create this video in the first place, is that I got this overwhelming intuitive feeling in my gut saying, hey, share this video, share this topic, speak about intuition, so that other people can learn to develop their intuition and show how powerful it is. And then also show the aspects of how negative it can be on your life if you choose to ignore it. So I'm going to repeat this. Your intuition is your higher self. Well, your higher self will never lead you astray. Your higher self only wants the best for you. So when your intuition or your God or your higher self is speaking to you, so let me reiterate this. So intuition is when God, source energy, or your higher self, that's when it's speaking to you. That the gut feeling, that's when God or the universe or your higher self speaks to you. And meditation and prayer is when you're speaking to God or the universe or to your higher self. It's like a telephone, you have a telephone or this ability inside you to speak, through meditation and prayer, to speak to God. And then God or the Holy Spirit or your higher self speaks through you through your intuition. So if you want to develop your intuition, I suggest learning to meditate and to master your mind, thoughts, and emotions. Learn to pay attention when you're getting that overwhelming gut feeling. Don't brush it off. Don't ignore it. Your intuition is like a psychic power within you. Yes, guys, we all have psychic abilities. You just got to learn to figure out which one's yours and how to develop it and how to work that muscle to make it stronger and stronger. Your intuition gets stronger and stronger the more you listen and act upon it. So if you want your intuition to be like present in your daily life and to have self-mastery over the self, you got to learn to use your intuition, listen to it, notice if it's your intuition speaking to you or your ego mind, know the difference, and act upon that gut intuition. And when you act upon it more and more and listen to it more and more, it starts getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Your intuition gets weaker and weaker the more you ignore it and choose to not listen to it. Yep, that's right. So if you're wondering why if you're not very intuitive, it's because over the years of your life, you chose to ignore it and push it deeper and deeper down in your consciousness. You got to bring it to the surface, guys. Most people have heard of Spider-Man. Yes. Have you heard of Spider-Man, the comic book, or they made movies about him? About him? Spider-Man is a superhero with amazing abilities. One of his abilities is Spidey Sense. Where Spider-Man, so Spidey Sense, the Spider-Man's Spidey Sense was basically whenever something was off or wrong or he was in danger, he would get this tingling, and it was his Spidey Sense. Well, my friends, guess what? We all have Spidey Sense. But in most humans, our Spidey Sense has laid dormant within us. We must learn to awaken our Spidey Sense. We must learn to awaken our intuition. Guys, that's a beautiful thing. Our Spidey Sense is intuition. It's that instinctive knowing. So I'll share with you some examples out of my life so that you can understand what is intuition. So when I was a teenager, I went to a party, and of course I was young and I wasn't supposed to be drinking, but I was drinking. And then I got this overwhelming overwhelming feeling in my gut that something was wrong, that something bad was going to happen at this party. I couldn't shake it. I was like, at that time I was like, hey, I have to leave. I have to get out of here. And so I went and got my buddy, and I was like, hey, dude, we need to leave. And he didn't want to leave. And I'm like, buddy, I'm like, trust me, we got to go. And guess what happened? Literally 10 minutes after that, the police showed up and broke up the party and gave everybody who was underage drinking tickets, basically. And I was spared, and my buddy was spared because I chose to trust my intuition. Another example of this was where I was working, and it was in the morning, and I had this image in my mind of my dog, like it flashed into my mind, and then I had this gut feeling that something was wrong with my dog, that something bad happened to my dog. And for like an hour, I couldn't shake that feeling that something was wrong. But I was working, so I couldn't leave. So I ended up working my 8 hours, and then I drove home. And then when I got home, my roommate at the time literally came up to me and said, "Hey, bud, I was taking your dog for a walk, and your dog got loose, like off the chain or off the leash, and like ran away and ended up getting into a fight with another dog. And luckily my roommate got my dog back, but that was my intuition saying, hey, my dog got into a confrontation and got injured fighting another dog, and something was wrong there." And then throughout our lives, we all have had this. Like, one of the most intuitive abilities a mother has is the intuition and the connection they share with their children. And many mothers, even if they're miles apart or thousands of miles apart, will get a intuitive knowing, hey, something happened to my son or something happened to my daughter. And then literally an hour later, the phone rings, and the mom receives, hey, I got in a car accident, or something did actually happen. So my friends, you have to learn to awaken your abilities within you. We have all experienced overwhelming gut intuition before. We are not just flesh and bones. We are powerful spiritual beings. Let me repeat that. We are powerful spiritual beings. We are divine beings, my friends. Our intuition is one of our superpowers. Is our intuition is our psychic ability. So the last before I end this message is that discernment and intuition goes hand in hand, basically. We as human beings, through our intuition, use our discernment to see if a person is trying to take advantage of us or not. So we get that intuitive feeling, and then we use our discernment to be like, is this person trying to take advantage of me? Is this person trying to rip me off? Is this person being genuine to me? Or is this person trying to use me? If you want better people in your life, if you want a positive life, you could use your intuition and discernment to start weeding out the people that come into your life. There's people that come into our lives that bring us up, that are positive and uplift us. And then there's people that come into our life that bring us down and share negativity with us. There's people that come into our lives that encourage us to do stuff that's not of our highest nature. And then there's people that come into our lives that encourage us to be in our highest nature. So when you're using your intuition, you can use your intuition like a psychic power and be like, what am I feeling? Is this person, through your discernment, right for me or wrong for me? And we all know this, but sometimes we choose to ignore it. Stop ignoring your intuition. Stop ignoring that gut feeling. Stop ignoring the red flags that flare up or pop up in your life, and start trusting it. Because when you start trusting your intuition, guys, so years ago, I didn't trust my intuition. I had the ability, I was a very intuitive or empathic person, or I had somewhat of psychic abilities, but I didn't know what was going on, and I chose to ignore them. But as I chose the path of awakening and enlightenment, I started to learn to trust my intuition every day. I learned to trust my discernment every day. And my life has changed over the night. All my dreams, all my goals like manifest themselves into my life like magic. And then anything that's negative, or anytime I see a red flag, I choose to walk away. You know, I don't get into toxic or unhealthy relationships no more, because I'm so in tune with myself. I'm in alignment with and in my power, that when I I go to date someone or court someone, the minute my intuition says, hey, there's something wrong here, and it's very powerful. So I usually know within a matter of seconds or matter of minutes, when I meet someone that I'm attracted to be like, and I know, hey, this person's not right for me. I need we could be friends, but I'm not going to enter into a dating relationship with this person. So trust your intuition, guys, because it'll actually change your life. You know, when you want to be successful in life, if you get that intuitive gut feeling, hey, this is the project I should do, or this is the business I should start, and this is how I should do it. If you trust your intuition, guess what? It'll be a successful business. But when you choose to ignore that gut feeling and go on a different direction, you like say you had two business ideas and your intuition is telling you to go one way, but you choose to ignore it and go the other way, usually that business will fail. So trust your intuition, my friends, and educate yourselves about intuition. You know, I'm not all knowing, and I don't hold all the answers, but do your best to discern and use your intuition to help guide you in your life. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry for the ramble, and maybe I messed up a little bit on this video, and for that I'm sorry, but I wish you the best, guys. You know, one of the keys is trusting your intuition. Trust it, my friends. Trust it, and your life will change. Develop that psychic ability within you. And then everything you do from there on, once you start developing your intuition, every project, every person you meet, you start filtering it through your intuition. You start filtering it through your discernment. And then you'll have this instinctive knowing, guys. Thank you for everything, and I hope this message helps you guys. So if you like this video, like and subscribe. Thank you.